We're going to go ahead and get started.
Everything I wear. Remember when George would wear suits and stuff? Then I went out shopping and just bought.
All right, we're going to do the budget workshop. Can we
I'm not
have a roll call, please?
You know that.
Chair Blair Sickland.
Here.
Oh,
Vice Chair DeAndre Poole.
Present.
Secretary Treasurer Jean Enright.
here.
Commissioner Barisa Ladas.
President.
Commissioner Wayne Richards.
Here.
Executive Director Michael Meekins.
Here.
Court Attorney John Romero.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Can we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. C1, workshop discussion. Who's going to start off?
Moving chair. Commissioners, James is going to come up and give you a quick brief on our workshop presentation for fiscal year 2046.
Okey-doke.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is the budget workshop for fiscal year 26. I've got some slides I just wanted to go over. You have already received some information in the reminder that's going to be regular meeting that's more detailed than what we're going through now. If you have any questions on that prior information, I'm going to answer that. Just to go over a little bit of the budgeting process, we started with an operating plan next year that continues the report. Using the report to achieve its mission and missions. From the operating plan, each department is responsible for creating a fiscal budget, which they've done, including a staffing plan. And their budget and the staffing plan equals the operating expenses. The revenue plan that enables you to require financial resources necessary to provide tenants with the infrastructure to grow the business on a floor and operate in an efficient manner. It's a combination between the operating expenses renewal and replacement expenses and the capital improvements. The finance department pulls all this information together and creates an overall financial plan that ensures the revenue plan and department budgets are fully funded in a financially responsible manner that reduces operating income and supports capital spending into the future, while maintaining cash balances that provide long-term expansion projects and significant capital project needs. This is a visual. We start with the operating plan into the annual budget. The annual budget has three components: the revenue side, the department expenses, and the capital plan. And that all flows through a cash flow statement and a balance sheet. In the past, we really haven't budgeted on the cash flow side and the balance sheet side. But to me, it all ties together, and it's one complete circular information that needs that all needs to reconcile to one another. You receive, like I mentioned earlier, the budget book with detailed schedules from which budget was built. This presentation is just an overview of the key budget elements and assumptions. The proposed budget includes the best information that we currently have right now. Budget assumptions: wage increase at 4%. That rate is still being negotiated. Health, vision, and dental, I think we've got that pretty much narrowed down to 27.3%, although that may or may not change. Property and casualty insurance at 15%. We have a meeting with the broker tomorrow to kind of make sure that that all hinges on the value, the statement of values of all the property we're insuring. The rate for $100 of value actually went down from $1.01 to 96 cents, so our rate actually went down there. Tenant revenue without rent for existing tenants, absent of projections, recorded as flat, no increase. We do have some tenants projections that we did put into the budget. Interest earned on cash in the bank is budgeted at 4.3%. There may be some reductions in the Fed rate in the next few months, so we'll keep an eye on that. If that happens, it will affect the interest earnings. Income statement summary. Proposed net revenue 23.8 million. Payroll and benefits 8.3. Operating expenses 5.9. The revenue, back to the revenue, it is budgeted to increase over our projection, 25 projection, like $1,125,000. Operating expenses are projected to increase by 7% due to the labor increase in everything with along with the health benefits, the FRS, the employer taxes, all that is calculated to that increase. Operating profit at 40%, we projected at 41%, the budget was at 40%. Net operating income and expense. That basically is each one of these has its own slide. That's the amount of expense for non-operating depreciation, amortization, interest, earnings, etc. So we're looking at proposed budget net income of $6.4 million compared to a projected 5.6 and a budget of $781,000 increase. Net revenue is calculated on the gross revenue less the cruise line marketing expense. Of course, net revenue is 5% greater than budgeted and projected. Net revenue accounts for $430,000 in the proposed 2026 budget. Cargo and wharfage increased by $316,000, so that's how it kind of reconciles to the increase in the budget revenue. Operating expenses broken down into two categories: payroll and overall department budget expenses. Payroll is expected to go up $703,000, while operating expenses $286,000. And down below is a reconciliation of the items that are making up the payroll and benefits expense increase of $173,000. Non-operating expenses, again, the expense is 17.2% less than the 25 projection. The reduction is not an expense reduction, but it's an increase in interest earnings. Through December 24, we had about 68% of its unrestricted cash invested. Starting in early this year, we started investing 95% of the unrestricted cash. We actually have our operating account as a floor of $2 million. Anything above that gets swept to the investment account on a daily basis. We're also earning interest. Our interest is compounding daily instead of monthly. Net income reconciling net income, the $781,000 increase. $1.1 million is from revenue. $989,000 is the unfavorable increase in operating expenses, and a favorable decrease of $646,000 in non-operating. So that reconciles to a $781,000 increase in net income for the proposed budget. Capital expenditures. We do have the renewal replacement spend. Some of those items are carried over from previous years due to the fact that some of the projects are not completed in the same year. There are new projects on this list also. So the R&R spend is $2,558,000. Projects with matching grant funds, again, some of these projects, like as you know, the PADP project is spanning several from 2023, I believe, 2400. And it should be completed before the end of this year. Being that it's a schedule, there's some other items on here. So the total CapEx spend is $11,957,000. Cash flow. Look at the projected cash at the end of this year, 9/30/34. We're adding 6.4 in net income based on the budget. Depreciation is a non-cash item, so that gets added to it. We're subtracting the capital spend. We're adding back the grant receipts that we should be receiving, and then the balance sheet adjustments. We have two more bond payments to make, one at the end of this year and one at the end of 26, and then we have the bond payments. Our ending cash should increase by $5.1 million. The last page of the grants that are in process that Carl's been applying for, that we're monitoring, and you can see some new grants on it, 27. The other grants have been in existence, and we're working on completing these projects and getting them capitalized and appreciated. That is the presentation on budget. Again, the budget workshop binder has a balance sheet, has all the detailed schedules. Any questions, comments?
Mr. Chairman, I talked to you on the phone earlier today. Were you able to give me the information you were gonna? I never received it.
Jackie has it for you.
Okay.
Emailed it to you.
What we talked about, I know things are going up and expensive. I had a concern about our membership dues. If you look at the department expenses budgeted continued on that page, and they said see attached sheet. And we spend $73,000 on a whole lot of things. I just personally feel we should not continue to participate because we don't have a representative, and even if we did, it's not cost, it doesn't add anything to the port, or I just look at it as if we just throwing money away. For example, the Women's International Shipping and Trade Organization, why are we paying their dues? I know that years ago, Commissioner, what was her name, Waldron, she was in the shipping business, and we became a member. I don't feel we should pay those dues. Another one, Economic Forum. Why are we paying for that? I know they had they had a disagreement with the school board and all of that, but I feel we should not be a member. Also, the Economic Forum is another one. Then if you go down to Business Development Board, I don't feel that we should pay those dues and be a member. I'm not saying that commissioners should not attend. If they want to attend these events, let them pay for it out of their community grants. I feel that we're spending too much money paying for all these different things, and those are four that I feel that we should not even be a part of, because it's not enhancing the port, it's not doing anything for us. And I don't see what we're getting out of, which is zero. But that's my personal opinion, and I would like to make a motion that we eliminate these organizations, or we just really take a good look at continuing this going down the line. I don't think we should, but that's my personal opinion.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
So, being part of these organizations, networking, is an important part of ensuring consistency in the community, not just ensuring that they essentially guarantee that the port doesn't just act as an isolated member, but that we are actually consistent with the rest of the community, particularly with the Business Development Board. It ensures consistency with the rest of the community and that we're all on the same page to come together for business growth. And as to singling out certain organizations, I think that it really is a bit subjective based on this one commissioner's preferences, and we need to make sure that we work with the community in order to build a better community, and part of that is some of these memberships. I think it's important, too, that we ensure consistency with the rest of the ports in the state of Florida, which are all members of chambers and the Business Development Board. I know that Mike and I have had meetings with the Business Development Board and other local chambers in order to discuss the potential opportunities here, as well as ensure that the port remains thriving, because that benefits the community, which we are probably the largest economic generator for the community. So if staff wants to look and see what other ports are routinely members of, I would agree to that. But I think it's very, very important that we aren't just acting as an isolated unit, and that we are actually a member of this community. Thank you.
Ken?
Two questions, two things. Mr. Meekins, what is the impact that being a part of some of these groups, what is the impact on the port and the success of the port?
So I would say, depending on what their group is, some of these groups we have a direct tie to, and I would say some of the groups we may not have a direct tie to. Some of them are there more for the board and to give its, keep the port in the spotlight within the community and the areas that the board serves.
But in terms of the financial health of this port, in terms of the money that we've received from the state, that all of that has been a direct connection with the state of Florida and
That's
other
correct.
areas in the grants.
Right. These organizations, as far as I know, are not a part of that process. I'd have to go back in history to figure out, what, if anything, we've gained from any of them.
The other point I want to make, one of the things I wanted to mention earlier is to increase our community grants by $1,000. For me, if we were, that's $3,500 in these other organizations, you mentioned NRAC, I would say we could add that to the community grants. I think giving that money to various community groups, community organizations would be more beneficial use of the funds.
Wayne, you have anything?
Yeah, I do. So I'm listening to all of the discourse back and forth. It would seem that some of these organizations were added over the years pursuant to a particular commissioner's desire. I'm hesitant to, with minimal notice, just start cutting items off. Looking at some of these items, I question the efficacy. Forgive me, I don't know. National Information Office Association. I don't know what that means. But I would want staff to come back and tell us at the very next meeting whether, what is their recommendation. I will tell you though, Business Development Board, to me that's a no-brainer. When we campaign, we speak about the economic engine for Palm Beach County. We speak about the fact that our staff is constantly looking to grow the port. We know that our staff has indeed worked with their employees over the years. So in my mind, that's a hard pass. You would never cancel that. That, like, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? But some of these other items, it might make sense. My suggestion is staff go back and report to us between now and the next meeting whether or not we've done anything with these groups. If not, I'm happy to cancel many of them. But I'm not comfortable just today knocking something off because I don't recognize the name, as I just suggested. Thank you.
Okay, well, I think these budgets are completely wrong on some of these. For instance, the Business Development Board is not $3,500.
For the membership are you talking
Yeah.
about, or is this a total?
Membership.
Mr. Chairman,
How much is it? Do you know?
I thought it was like $6,000 or $7,000. I thought
What?
they raised it up. Does anybody have any idea?
I'll have to check on it. I'll get back.
but
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I do know because I did talk to our Assistant Executive Director, and we went over and we have spent $8,900 on the Business Development Board in the last year. Because if you look at their galas, $700 a person, that's crazy. I don't see us getting anything. That's $1,400 for each person to attend. If a person wants to go, I have no problem, but spend your own money. I don't think that the port should be taking on all of this. And it doesn't even look right because at the end of the day, they're just going to a party. Let's
Yeah.
talk real talk.
Well, in the old days,
We used to go, but it used to be $1,000 for the whole
That's
port
not-
in our dues.
right, that's not what I'm going to say. In the old days, the Business Development Board, I'm talking 20, 25 years ago, they asked us to join and there was no fee because the only reason they wanted us back then, it's probably the same now, is that they wanted us to get them business. I mean, in all the years I've been here, we've never gotten one iota of business through them.
That's
I mean, that's just a fact. So, I mean, we've been shoveling, business when we can over to them, but now if they're going to charge us, $6,000 or $7,000 just to join, plus, I'm on their list. I mean, there's all sorts of cocktail parties, dinners, things like that. So I agree that the staff needs to go over all these memberships, and there's some, like, I don't think we use the Forum Club that much anymore. I mean, if we do, we'll keep it, but if we're not using it, I think we should just eliminate them. So why don't we just then at the next meeting, you'll go through and get the correct amounts. Because like I say, I'm pretty sure that it's not $3,500 anymore.
Commissioner, I was
Chairman.
told that it was $3,500, but we were notified that next year it'll be $5,000.
Right, and also, Mr. Chairman, it was $3,500 last year, but when our commissioners went to events, and if you add up the year, it came up to $8,900.
Right.
This
So-
is this, and then now the dues are $5,000. You're talking about real money.
Yeah. All right, so
And I'm like you, they've never brought us business since I've been here in 21 years. This is my 21st year.
So I think then we'll take what Wayne said, we'll have our staff go over, and each commissioner can call and lobby for what they need to keep it on and make a reason why they think we should. So if that's okay with everybody, we'll do it that way. Okay. All right. Any other?
Mr. Chair, just for the purpose of finishing up the budget, we could move forward with the budget, and then based on whatever the conversation is for the approval of the
Yeah.
budget with the following changes,
Yes. Sure.
we could make those changes.
Yeah. Because like I say, there's not just the business development board, there's 5 or 6 of these that definitely don't need to be on. And if we're going to increase the $500, so that would be for tickets for, things that are similar to this, so.
Mr. Chair, I would love to give to more organizations, but it's only so much that we
Right.
have from our community grants account. So I think rerouting those funds would be.
Yeah, and if we cut out quite a bit here, I think we certainly can do. So we'll look at that moving that up to 3,500.
Absolutely.
All right.
Also, Mr. Chairman, may I ask? So next week, next meeting, we'll look at this.
Yes.
So therefore, no dues will be paid for any of these organizations until we come back. Is
Correct.
that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Yes, go ahead.
I like the idea that we're moving on and that staff's going to do some research for us. But any guardrails, do we want, should the commissioners contact staff and say, hey, this third item, I really want to keep it, or the fifth item, or how do you envision that happening, Blair?
Well, they're going to have to bring it back before the board and say, we have one commissioner that wants to keep one item or 2
And then we'll
commissioners.
talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay,
we'll
that's fine.
talk,
Yeah,
and
it's
then-
gotta be a
and then we'll
majority.
vote, and we'll vote.
Right, yeah, and so
Thank you.
majority rules, so. All right, and anybody else have anything on the agenda? One thing I will bring up, as you probably know, that I always get involved in the health and dental and vision. And usually it's not that much of a problem, but unfortunately, all over the country, the cost of healthcare has skyrocketed. And we spent a lot of time with staff, with the Gehring Group. I've had numerous calls, and finally it seems like we're going to be able to stay with our existing carriers. But one thing, for the staff especially, it's 25% increase, so that's like staff getting a 25% raise, pretty much. So I just want them all to be aware that, it wasn't easy to do this year, and we did a lot of research, a lot of checking. We talked to other companies, and unfortunately, most of them just didn't fit what we're used to. So I just thought I'd bring that up so everyone realizes. Go ahead, Wayne.
And it's funny, we're talking about a very large budget, but we were focusing on a $3,000 line item, but there are many big line items in our budget. I do want us to note, which is very positive, that we are funding a deputy director going forward. I don't know if we
Right.
saw that
Right, I saw
through
that.
this,
I saw
but
that.
that's worth discussing. So we're looking to hire a deputy port director at a reasonable salary. Are there any other positions in here, Mr. Director, that are
Not currently. Currently, in the payroll, we have a couple of temporary janitor positions, one temporary facility. Those will turn over. I did have a project person, but I pulled them for this year. Trying to see what we can do. We've made up a lot of ground. James has done great on the finance side. And as a perfect example of that, we used to take us a month to close out and go from one meeting to the next to get your information. This will be the first month, and it looks like it'll be done in 2 weeks. So between that and a lot of other things on the procurement side, right now I feel like we might be able to do without that position, so we pulled it for this year.
do without which position, although you took off?
I don't
So
have
yes,
that.
there was one position that was, it's been in the works for years, and it was a project person. One of the things that occurs, because we all pretty much perform double duties being a small port, but when we get projects, everything has to stop in order to take care of that project. And that's always been a hindrance to the staff. So we had somebody who was a temp here during a time period where another employee was out, and that person actually worked for an attorney's office and did a very good job of helping us through some pretty good projects and pretty detailed. So we were pretty happy with that. They were subsequently hired by another company, but that was the person that we would have put in that position had we had the opportunity.
And when do you hope to possibly fill the deputy's position? What
So we
time
put it in the
frame?
budget for 6 months
What is it looking
out for half the year.
What's wrong?
What are you looking at? I don't have that.
No, you sure do. It's in here.
I don't have
I'm sorry,
that.
where is it?
Because
Oh, it's in
I
yellow.
asked,
It's in you.
because I asked, oh, this is what I asked for earlier today and didn't get. Okay.
So we budgeted in there for 6 months of the year, figuring it's going to take a couple months to find this person.
Wait a minute, hold
And
on.
I do see a projects person here.
Yes, but I believe we were pulling that one out. Should not
Okay.
be on the budget
All right,
side.
all right, no worries. All right, thank you.
Miss-
Go
Thank
ahead.
you, Blair.
Okay,
So this is, Mr. Chairman?
yeah,
can I say?
go ahead.
So this is Deputy Director of Operations, and isn't Ms. Griffin the Deputy Director?
It's a deputy director of operations. It's a whole succession plan so that down the road here, when we have a pretty good amount, a group that are leaving, retiring, at that point, we're hoping to bring on somebody who's got 10 years of cargo and cruise operations.
So my question is, what will happen to Ms. Griffin? Wouldn't she keep her job?
Yes, ma'am.
Or you will
So-
take her out, or what? Because, well, I'm just asking, I'm just asking a question.
ma'am.
I'm not trying to be funny, I'm just asking a
it up straight.
question. Because she's Deputy Director, so,
We'll have two. We had two originally when we started out. One was over finance and one was over pretty much ops. I should say finance, IT, and a couple of other things. Beatrice, the deputy director over administration, will still be over HR, IT, and some of the other organizations. Operations will fall under the operations deputy.
so where are we getting this money from?
Excuse me, I didn't.
What'd you say?
Mr. Chairman, so the money's coming from, you're saying we had the position, so we held those funds and we're bringing those funds back? That's what you just said? That's what you just said?
No, it's a part of an increase. It's an overall increase to the bottom line.
Yeah,
At
so-
one point, we had it, we cut it out, and we're adding it back in for this year. And the whole purpose of that is to have a succession plan for later on, so that you have people here that have a good amount
Right.
of port and cargo and cruise knowledge.
Go ahead.
Mr. Meekins, what would you say in the next few years, how many retirements do you foresee?
At least 4, and all critical of roles.
Okay. So okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, years ago, we just, 1 second. Years ago, I don't know if anyone was on one, Dick Irons, ring a bell?
Dick who?
Dick Irons. He was the deputy director. And so he was like the right-hand man of the director, and he knew everything that was going on. And he was here for a long time. And I think it was when Colonel Donahue was here, and I don't know if he lasted past that, but he was very helpful in that. That's the position I think we're looking for. Marissa, you want something?
I imagine with the retirement of Carl Baker, we've also had some other very significant retirements lately. Who else? I think you mentioned 2 to me yesterday. Or
Yeah, so there are people getting ready to retire. Rick Placeris wants to stay until 2032, I think? No. I apologize.
You'll be around with me.
Aaron's also retiring, so we're just getting to that point where certain people are, and you really want to have that knowledge base to ensure the future success of the port.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you would agree. There's a substantial learning curve. You want someone that'll be able to hit the ground running, correct?
Well, yes. So we want somebody with the amount of experience, and then we want to give them the time so that they can learn our particular operations and how they function.
And then also with all of those significant retirements, I imagine that there was their salaries are obviously, they were entered back into the revenue, so we're not actually spending that money, correct?
No.
So there is money to hire someone new, correct?
Well, yes, our net profits are still substantial, so yes.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody have anything else? All right, so I think we're done with the budget. Ms. Shepherd, do you want to say anything? I know you put a card, or is that for the general meeting? Okay, for the next meeting? Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, okay. You can come up and wait for the okay. You wait for the regular meeting. All right, very good. So we're done with our budget workshop, and so now we'll move right into the regular meeting. I guess we need nothing's changed on the roll call. Everyone's still here.